Shout.
Shout. Yeah, but I can't shout into the mic. I won't shout into the mic, everyone. It's very loud. Good evening again, everyone. Good evening. Thank you. Let's try that again. Good evening, everyone. Other than this table that gets a 10 for responding the first time. Thank you very much to you, and thanks all for being here. You're very, very welcome to the first Wednesday series. Just a quick couple of announcements before I introduce Fiona, who we're super excited to have today. Okay, one is we will be recording the session. So if you are reading on the open mic and you do not want to be recorded, if you could let us know, specifically let Lauren, my partner in crime, know over there during the break, that would be good, just so that we know to shut down before you start reading. It makes it much easier rather than editing out later. And my second thing is, which we are contractually obligated to do, but we're very happy to anyway, we want to thank Poetry Ireland for partnering with us on this event. Okay, and now to introducing Fiona. And since I don't have a great memory, I will use my notes. Fiona Smith is the author of A Lemming Year from Revival 2025 and Travelers of the North from Art Publications 2022. She has been published in Poetry Ireland Review, Southward, The Stony Thursday Book, a local publication, and Hennessy New Irish Writing. Her work has featured in anthologies including Washing Windows 5, Women Revolutionize Irish Poetry, which came out this year. It's a tome this thick and has tons of really, really good poems in it, including a fantastic poem by Fiona. From Arlen House. She has contributed to Sunday Miscellany, and her poems have been displayed in Fitzgerald Park in Cork. And I could go on and on, but I think the less you hear from me in this portion of the evening, the better. So let's just give a warm first Wednesday welcome to Fiona. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dor. And to Lauren as well. And Dominic, of course, for publishing A Lemming Year, which I was delighted to have out this year. The first thing I published, I shouldn't say thing, pamphlet, chapbook, whatever you want to call it, fed in, some of the poems fed in to A Lemming Year. And it was inspired by a journey, an ocean journey between Ireland and Norway. And it's about a legendary saint called Saint Sunniva, who engaged of course legendary because it's middle age and God knows what really happened, but the story goes that she was an Irish princess or a noblewoman who was destined to marry somebody she didn't want to marry. So she commandeered a vessel and went off to Norway. And the reason why I was so interested in this is that I saw a statue to her in a church in Norway and thought, that's unusual, a Catholic Irish saint. Who is the only one they have in Norway? So she set up a community on the west coast of Norway and eventually suffered death through rockfall, and her relics were apparently, after a long period, found completely inviolate. She became a saint, and I decided to take the saint out of her and to return her to a state of being a regular Irish girl. The book begins when she wants to escape. I, Sunniva, am quite mad with longing to run wild as a boy in a streel of golden sun, to run on into the cold drench of dark the air sharp with briars, apples, horsesweat. My father all set jaw, my mother a quiver, squares her shoulders yet smells of fear. I swallow, resist contagion. I will not marry. I cannot, I will not, I do not give consent. Rosary beads clack the whispering weight. The hushed sips and sighs of my mother. Her loose threads of impatience I work into a tapestry of dust, stillness, longing. Alban, loyal brother, perfidious son, please cleave to me, aid me, help my escape. Let us conceive of and weave a fine plot, a seaway for me, son of a, to heave, leave, go. So the next one is when she's the next one is when she's packing her bags. Those of you who have ever packed a rucksack knows all the practical things go in, but for some of it wasn't really quite like that. Sunniva sets forth a portmanteau of ragged dreams, a refusal of forced connubial haste, one stern father ready to disown, a compass, a sextant, a bag of charms, one mother tearful yet acquiescent, accompaniment in the form of a brother. On cold grey seas by sturdy curragh, as first light streaks the sky above, we make to leave our only home. Tears freeze in the tracks of the wind as we set our watch for the borealis into the strange, cold Heimslige north. I should explain that Heimslige means homeland, and because I spent some time living in Norway, I think you always look for the things that remind you of home. Although it may indeed be strange. So living there, she suffered, of course, from homesickness, as a lot of people do. And one poem I wrote refers to her thinking of home. It starts with lenge siden sist, and lenge siden sist means in Norwegian a long time since. Lenge siden sist, a long time since. The thump of slither on hurl, the drone of the pipes, the cheers of the boys, the kestrel swoop and swirl. Lenge siden sist, a long time since, we bid our home farewell. Chicks as we were when we left our poor mother, tearful bereft. Does she dare to say our names to the stars? Ursa Major, Little Bear. Pray the winds to carry sounds to us of home, gone a long time since. The thump of slither and hurl, the drone of the pipes, the cheers of the boys, the kestrel swoop and swirl. So if anybody's feeling uncomfortable, just let me know, because I was explaining to my nephew here at the last reading I gave was in an old people's home near where I live, and there was somebody suffering a little maybe from being in pain, but while I was reading she was shouting out, "I can't bear it any longer." So feel free to heckle. Fair enough, honest, at least. So back to youth, I guess, being young. Being young, we gathered primroses and daffodils, those big bitches of flowers. Primroses we liked, snowdrops were sissies, and buttercups were boring. Bluebells covered the woods in a lilac haze you couldn't spoil by picking. We walked through gorse bushes and into the mud that clung, wouldn't release us. Out at the lake we looked into the murky water and thought how ugly it all was. As soon as we could, we drove into a countryside bursting with spring. We stepped in cow shit, cursed, ran from snarling dogs, cowered in fear. On hot, angry days, we drove to remote, mean villages to laugh at them, happy in the knowledge that we would do so much better than that. The music, of course, is one of the most important things in your life when you're growing up. And I was lucky enough to have older brothers who introduced me to a lot of interesting music when I was probably far too young to understand or even know about some of the concepts. This one's called Young Americans of the Front Room. The stereo in the front room was the ticket to climb aboard the new musical express, turntabling us to that other world where we could be the young Americans. Tear like demon dogs from station to station, all the way to Washington, where we would grasp that perfect day, feed animals at some funky zoo, let Lou Reed, Little Joe, Boy Girl Bowie too, transform us with that New York talk. Tap into their clever conversation, hitchhike our way across the USA. The music made us forget ourselves until we were someone cool, somewhere new. So the title poem is A Lemming Year and Norway again. I was lucky enough to be brought up the high mountains and stay in a cabin. And the place was surrounded by goats, but you could meet the odd lemming if you wanted to. And apparently that was a lemming year, which they say is every 4 years. There's an abundance of lemmings, which I loved the idea of. I don't think it has a scientific basis really, but to me it was great. A lemming year. We happened on a lemming year, coming upon a glut, an agitation of furred puffballs, screaming their terror and rage against the mountainside. We saw one almost implode. So sharp and urgent was its fury, as if it knew. How could it have known? Its fate would be decided in that 4th year, by the black fjord below. How would it tackle it, if it could tackle it at all? And if it came up short, timing would be everything. We could not have known what lay before us in that lemming year. It raged all the same, making angry, ineffectual pleas to the icy blue mountain. And what of the others? Do lemmings get survivor guilt? So, unfortunately, youth doesn't last. And these poems have entered into deepest middle age, or even, this one is retrospective. I only read this when the son in question is not here. It was written probably when he was 2 or 3. He's nearly 21. The astronaut. My son dreams of being an astronaut in his grubby spaceman suit, my plump Norwegian trout. Or is it me who dreams of a son who wants to be an astronaut? Where, when does the self begin? He turns, roams in his sleep. What can I know of his dreams? He keeps them under wraps. Maybe he'd rather be a baker, hairdresser or nurse, a gamer, designer of hats. You get what you get, he says. I want his dreams to be his own. But what if he never learns to put up a tent, tack a sail, tell toxic, edible mushrooms apart? Where does my care begin and end? I see him conducting an orchestra, striding across Greenland's wastes, baking that perfect cake. Wrapped he sleeps, dreams on. You love what you get, I say, my plump Norwegian trout. So you can see why I only read it when he's not here. So yeah, a lot of the kids we all know grew up during COVID, and then they are living in the world where the news is just horrific. So people complain that they're all very anxious, but you kind of think it makes sense that they're anxious. So I wrote a poem about worry, because when I lived in Greece I used to see the people in the cafes using their worry beads, which look like rosary beads. I'm sure you've probably seen them. They're called kumbalai. Worry child, I will buy you some kumbalai, my worry child, a string of beads to lay out all your stresses on. You can sit like an old Greek man to mull and fret over your woes, turned into shiny beads of amber. Is it okay if I buy amber now, or is that wrong? Plastic would never do. Plastic is a worry too. Start near the shield of one end of the thread, pull the thread forward to the top, tip the cord, so that a bead, one worry at a time, will fall. Get whacked on the head as it hits the shield. Repeat until all the beads have been moved from one end of the loop to the other. Then start again. Repeat as often as you like, for your worries are not gone, just shunted along. Sit as you will, a troubled Greek with his coffee, working away at highly polished orbs of angst. So I wrote a poem about Castelnaudary. I've not been there at all. I think people always assume poetry is about yourself. It's not always. It's just going to be something somebody says to you and you're wrong with it. But this is kind of a poem about maybe a future time where I will go to Castelnaudary. Castelnaudary, this is not a love poem. I will take you with me to Castelnaudary one day. We will skip it all, the windmill, sex, the church, and go straight to lunch. I will buy you a big bowl of cassoulet, sausage, haricots, confit de canard, a good red from the Bourgogne. I will sit and watch you ooze content as the sauce trickles down your chin, while I enjoy a tossed green salad. So the last bit obviously was the fiction. The salad. So that's it really for me, I think. Poets get to be absent-minded, and I've forgotten to bring some books. So if you would like, I will take your address and post you out a book if you'd like one. Thank you.
Thank you.
So just a few quick housekeeping before I send you off for your next pint.
Thank you.
So one, do visit Fiona over there and give her your contact stuff to get her book. And if you can't wait, there are a bunch of books over there. Lauren's book is over there, Dominic's book is over there, Hora's book is over there, and there are a few others as well. So go get one and support Revival Press. The other thing I have to say is today is I wasn't aware until I was reminded. Today is a very special anniversary. 10 years ago, Lauren won Limerick's Got Talent, which launched her amazing poetry career. So we're very grateful to Limerick's Got Talent, and celebrate with her today by reading that book. And then my last piece of housekeeping before I send you off is after the break we will be passing around this poster, as is our custom at the first Wednesday series. So we'll pass it off, and if you want to write a nice little comment or something that struck you about tonight, we're going to gift it to Fiona as a memento at the end of tonight. So please do contribute to it. It's really lovely to see all the nice messages at the end. So that's it for me. Off for your next pint. Let's support the White House, and I'll see you back here in 5 minutes. 5 minutes.